Hey guys, we are back for another episode of NaNoWriMo Tarot, brought to you by moi, Sierra at East of the Moon Tarot. I'm hosting all of these videos on Divination Guild on Facebook. It's a really great group full of lots of readers and tarot, Lenormand, oracle enthusiasts, enthusiasts of all forms of divination, really. So I hope that if you are seeing this and you are not a member, that you'll decide to join us. It's one of the most wholesome groups that I have found online in recent years, and it's full of really lovely people. With that said, let's get on to day 8's exercises. So we are starting to create quite a tale for ourselves, and you know what a good story needs? A good story needs good characters. So we've got our, our main characters. We have our protagonist, our hero, and our antagonist, our villain. And that's great. Theoretically, you can craft a story that is just 2 characters. Some of my favorite books have been with a very limited cast, but I really always like supporting characters. You know, usually the comedic relief is not one of the main characters. Usually my favorite characters in books are actually, not main characters. So so that's what today is about. Today is about meeting your cast. Meeting the people who are going to populate your story and bring it to life and add a little variety to everything. So for that, I have chosen to work with the gorgeous and cool Mini Queens Tarot, created by Letty Jane Rennekamp. This is the box. This is the card backs. And just to give you guys an idea, this is one of my very favorite decks now. I love it because it's actually very inclusive. It's very playful as far as gender and looking at, or kind of breaking this heteronormative perspective that a lot of tarot is just still kind of stuck in that place. So that's why I decided to use this deck, because I wanted a very diverse cast of characters. I wanted characters with big personalities, not people that are just there, Okay, so I'm going to advise you that, and the way I have the exercise written is that you do this exercise for 7 characters. So the first thing you're going to do is pull 7 cards for 7 characters. And then you're going to go through and ask questions and answer questions about each card. Now, I'm not going to go through 7 cards for the video because it'll make the video really long. I'm just going to do 3 for right now. So, just keep that in mind, and you can make your cast as large or as small as you want it. If you want to start with 2 or 3 supporting characters, that's perfectly fine. I recommend not doing more than like 7 or so, because you don't want to overwhelm yourself with characters and then get into your story and realize that they're not necessary, and have to kind of make those decisions on who to cut. It's very painful as a writer when you have to cut a character from your story completely, or when you have to kill somebody off or something like that. So yeah, this is about meeting our characters and kind of getting a little bit of an understanding about them. And feel free to pull clarifying cards for any of them if you are kind of struggling as far as finding some more substance for each of these people. Shuffle your deck really well, and I advise you not to, unless your deck is going to contain animals or something like that as characters, I advise you to use a deck that has lots of people on it, A couple of tips regarding that. If a card shows a single individual, read that as your character meets this individual on their own. You know, like they meet one-on-one. If the card shows a group of individuals of any size from 2 on up, then see that as representative of a group of individuals, not just one single person, and kind of go from there. Okay. Who are my 3 supporting cast members going to be? Okay. The first card I pulled is the 3 of Swords. It doesn't actually have a person on it. It is gorgeous though. Check this out. So I'm gonna set this aside. Doesn't mean that I'm not going to read it, but I'm looking for people in this deck. So if that happens to you, if you pull a card that's not a face card, that doesn't have anyone on it at all, then, you know, just keep drawing. Okay. So now I have the 9 of Pentacles. This was my card of the year for a couple of years in a row, so I feel like this one's going to be really easy for me to go through these questions with. I'm going to pause the video for 1 second because my cat is back in the sink and I need to go handle that. Sorry about that. Okay, so once you have your first character, you need to ask and answer these 4 questions. 1, who are they? So the 9 of Pentacles typically is a very secure woman. She's very strong, very independent. Usually she's shown as being on kind of an estate. Sorry guys, I have to... Cat! Okay, sorry. I had to spray my cat to get him off the counter again. But yeah, so she's usually pretty independent. She's fairly wealthy, at least she's financially secure. And she usually has a lot of resources at her disposal. Where are they? She's in a garden. I think you can kind of see that here. And in more traditional decks, usually she's depicted as in a garden as well. Let me deal with my cat again. You know, the plus side to having a cat that has to be sprayed with water to get him to get off of your countertops and things is that your floor stays remarkably clean. Okay, back to it. So, she is in her garden. Question number 2 was where are they? You know, you want to look at the background of the card and see if you get any clues to that. This is one of those areas where if you know, if your deck is more minimal or doesn't have like really a background or a setting to it, you might want to pull some clarifying cards to get you there. Number 3, what are they doing? Well, she is stroking her peacock. You know, so she's chilling out in her garden, petting her pet bird, you know, just really kind of enjoying her life. 4, you want to ask like when you're looking at the character on the card, ask what their expression, what their demeanor, what is given away about their personality or their character. Do they look nice? Do they look smug? Do they look dangerous? Ask yourself, you know, like what kind of person do they look like? So to me, you know, she looks a little bit aloof, a little bit reserved. She's going to take some convincing to win her over, but she doesn't look bad. She doesn't look too terribly self-involved. You know, she just looks like it's going to take her a minute to get on board. Okay. Card 2, we're going to go through those same questions. This is the 7 of Pentacles. Who are they? I love this fella. I'm gonna bring this in closer so you guys can see him. And I'm gonna read it as a him. He's the 7 of Pentacles. I'm gonna say he's probably in the same garden as this woman. He's probably her gardener, because he's the one that's out there doing the work while she's just kind of enjoying the fruits of the labor. And it's not to say that she's not enjoying the fruits of her own labor, you know, if she was successful enough to kind of build this sanctuary for herself and hire, you know, her gardener to come in and tend to it. That's cool. But who is he? Okay, he's the gardener, which I really like. Maybe he's also kind of her butler, personal assistant, you know, our this lady. This kind of makes sense because remember we talked about my main character being kind of an heiress, and it would stand to reason that she would have connections to or even friends already kind of in that socioeconomic group. So it makes a little bit of sense. Yeah. I like him, and I kind of like this chick. I like the story that I'm starting to see, and I am going to write them as queer as they appear. I am going to write them visually as they appear. You know, our Nine of Pentacles, she's not the typical big-bosomed, skinny chick that we see on tarot a lot. She looks like she's got, I think it's called trichomoniasis. That might be really wrong. But it's the thing where you kind of pull your hair out anxiously. So I might write her with that. I might write her with alopecia. I'm definitely going to keep her the size that she is. I'm writing her as a larger, fuller figured woman. With our gardener, he's got a little bit of the queer flair to him, and I like it. He's wearing heels. You know, he's very obviously secure in himself, so I like that about him. Where are they? He is in the garden. What is he doing? Tending his garden. He actually looks very, very nice, very friendly, very helpful. So all of this, everything that I'm seeing on this card gives me a little bit of insight into who he is. And I'll do more on these characters later. My third and final character for this part of today's event, I pulled another non-person card, the Ace of Swords. So pretty. All right. I finally get a group of people, and I get the Five of Wands. Now, typically the Five of Wands is about a conflict, but these people look very celebratory. They look like they're having the time of their lives. Let me hide behind the card so it'll focus nicely. They look like they're having a great time. Like, these bitches got their tits out, you know, like everybody's dancing, having fun. It looks like a party, honestly. So I think that's how I'm going to read it. The who they are is maybe a group of artists, musicians, you know. They're definitely not society people like what we've kind of been seeing. These people march to the beat of their own drums. They're probably very, I don't want to say bohemian because we've been misusing that word for a long time, but that's the general sense here. You know, they're kind of a group of miscreant outcasts. Where are they? I don't have a lot of scenery, a lot of setting. I do have branches and foliage and things like that, so I'm gonna say they're probably in the forest. I'm just gonna make it easy on myself and go with that. What are they doing? Frolicking, reveling, making merry. Maybe they're about to have an orgy. I don't know if they look nice, helpful. They definitely don't look scary, but they do look very mischievous to me. Like, you don't know if you can really trust them, but maybe you don't have any choice but to trust them. So I really like that. Okay, that concludes the regular portion of day 8 of NaNoWriMo Tarot. There will be a bonus day 8 episode that I will start recording momentarily. It is the love story. And it's totally optional. Not every story has to have a romance aspect to it. But if you would like for your main character to have a little love going on, tune in for the next episode. Please go follow me and like me and whatnot on Instagram and Facebook at East of the Moon Tarot. And if you feel called to do so, I really appreciate any tips. I don't want to say donations, but you know, if you want to leave me a tip or something like that, my PayPal is paypal.me/TEA is for tarot. All right, thanks for joining.